Darkness falls over the city as chilling as the breath of winter. This isn't the fleeting, ephemeral sort of darkness that simply precedes the dawn. It's a thick and viscous darkness, a vast expanse of black that sprawls across the city like a slow-moving tide, a monstrous entity that consumes everything in its path. The buildings are wrapped in this inky sheen, their surfaces slick and glossy. They rise monolithic and imposing, punctuating the starless sky with their towering heights. Each structure stands tall and unyielding, their facades a testament to the city's resilience amidst the overwhelming blackness. The neon lights that usually bathe the city in a kaleidoscope of hues are dimmed. Their vibrant colors, once a brilliant tapestry of life and energy, are now muted and subdued. The city is a canvas that has been drained of its color, its usual vibrancy swallowed by the omnipresent darkness. The glow of the lights is weak, a mere glimmer in the vast sea of black, their radiance smothered by the overpowering shadow. Each building, once a beacon of progress and prosperity, now stands aloof and detached. Their glass windows are void of warmth, reflecting the darkness like polished obsidian. They add to the city's overwhelming aura, a tangible sense of mystery and unease that permeates the air. The silence that envelops the city isn't a peaceful respite. Instead, it's an unsettling quiet that amplifies every subtle sound, every rustle of a leaf, every creak of a door. It's the kind of silence that seeps into your bones, a chilling hush as tangible as the cold winter air. It's a silence so profound that it's almost deafening. You can almost taste the palpable fear this silence brings, a metallic tang that lingers at the tip of your tongue, a relentless reminder of the unease that hangs heavily in the air. In the city's narrow alleys, the shadows seem to lengthen and convolute, forging a labyrinth of darkness that grows denser with each passing second. It's a maze that thrives in the absence of light, a network of crepuscular paths that seem to lead nowhere. The city feels abandoned, desolate, as if every ounce of life has been drained from its veins. It's as if the city itself is holding its breath, its heartbeat stilled in anxious anticipation, waiting for something to shatter the eerie tranquility. The only sounds that manage to puncture the silence are the distant hum of the city's underbelly and the sporadic screech of tires echoing in the emptiness. These noises are mere whispers, fleeting reminders of a city that once thrummed with life. In this city, secrets are a precious commodity, more valuable than gold. They are a currency in their own right, a form of barter and trade amongst the city's inhabitants. Everyone has a hidden piece of themselves that they protect fiercely, a secret that holds more value than any amount of wealth. The city is built on these secrets, on the whispers and rumors that circulate through its streets like a clandestine river, unseen yet ever present. And the truth is a rare and elusive entity. It's as fleeting as a wisp of smoke caught in the wind, as slippery as a fish darting in the depths of the ocean. Just when you think you have it within your grasp, it eludes you, slipping through your fingers like grains of sand. The truth is a chameleon in this city, constantly changing its color to blend with its surroundings. It's a notion that has been watered down and distorted over time, its essence lost amidst a myriad of lies and half-truths. Here, in the heart of the metropolis, a mystery is unfolding. It's a mystery that has been brewing for years, a complex story that is woven into the very framework of the city. It's a tale of intrigue and enigma, of shadows and whispers, a narrative that is inextricably linked with the city. The streets and buildings form the backdrop to this story, a silent audience to the unfolding drama. Where it will lead, no one knows. Only one thing is certain. As the city sleeps, shrouded in darkness and silence, it is filled with more secrets and mysteries than one could ever. In the shadows, a man stirs. His name is John, a detective known for his astute mind and sharp intuition. He exudes an air of mystery, complemented by a shroud of darkness that seems to perpetually surround him. A cloak of enigma wraps him, making it a challenge for those who aim to understand him. He is not just an ordinary man, he is an enigma, veiled by the obscurity of the shadows, yet thriving within its confines. The darkness his sanctuary, where he seeks solace and refuge. It is within its depths that he finds peace and tranquility. In the silence of the night, he finds his thoughts flowing freely, his mind working vigorously. It is in these secluded corners that his mind works at its best, sorting out the jumbled pieces of the puzzle that is his city. John is a man of many facets. He is not your everyday detective. His methods are unconventional, his thinking unorthodox. He doesn't just rely on evidence and deduction, he also trusts his intuition. His mind is a toolbox filled with a unique array of tools honed by years of experience of digging deep into the heart of the city and finding what lies beneath its polished surface. His intuition is not just an instinct, but a skill, a capability developed over years of practice. He believes in the power of his senses, his ability to perceive the unseen, the unheard. He knows that every shadow hides a secret and every silence tells a story. It's a belief that sets him apart from his peers, one that makes him detective in times of deep crisis. His life story is a testament to his commitment to his calling. From his early days as a young officer, fresh out of the academy, John had always displayed a keen interest in the unusual, the complex, the mysterious. This interest was not just a mere curiosity, but a drive, a passion that pushed him further into the realm of the unknown. He didn't choose the path of a detective, it chose him. It was this affinity towards the unknown that led him to pursue a career in this field, and he never looked back. Each case he solved, each mystery he unraveled only added to his reputation as a detective who could dive into the darkest depths and emerge with the truth. John's life is entwined with the city he serves. It's not just a place for him, it's a living, breathing entity that pulsates with the rhythm of life. The towering skyscrapers, the bustling markets, the tranquil parks all make up the city's persona. But for John, the city is much more than that. It's a labyrinth of secrets, a maze of mysteries waiting to be solved. Every street corner tells a story, every alleyway hides a secret. The city is his playground, his battlefield. Every crime that occurs in his city is like a challenge to him. He sees them not as mere incidents, but as pieces of a puzzle that needs to be solved. He doesn't rest till he finds the missing piece, till he completes the picture. The city, with all its problems and complexities, is his canvas. And he, with his keen observation and sharp intuition, is the artist. He paints the picture of the city, coloring in the details with his extensive knowledge and understanding. He sketches out the patterns, the connections, the relationships that bind the city together. As the night deepens, the city oblivious of the dangers lurking in the shadows, but not John. He is always alert, always watching. His eyes are ever vigilant, constantly scanning his surroundings, observing the subtle changes, the telltale signs that others miss. For him, the pursuit of truth is relentless. It's not just a job, it's a mission, a pursuit that keeps him awake at night. He knows that to find the truth, he has to delve into the dark. He has to become one with the darkness. Only then can he bring to light the hidden truths, the concealed facts that lie buried under the intricate web of deceit and lies that criminals weave. His life is a testament to the belief that the only way to find the truth is to become one with the darkness. And his city, with all its unsolved mysteries and untold stories, provides him ample opportunities to delve deeper, to explore further. The city is his canvas, and every crime a puzzle waiting for his discerning gaze to piece it together. His life, intertwined with the city he serves, is a story of dedication, commitment, and relentless pursuit of the truth. His story is one of courage, resilience, and unwavering resolve. It is a story that inspires, a story that resonates with every soul seeking truth in a world shrouded in shadows. It is the story of a man, a detective, who dares to delve into the darkness to bring light to the truth. His life is a testament to the belief that the only way to find the truth is to become one with the darkness. The city is his canvas, and every crime a puzzle, waiting for his discerning gaze to piece it together. Suddenly a phone rings, slicing through the silence like a knife. The suddenness of the sound invades the quiet tranquility of the room with a sharp and intrusive blade. It's an odd, alien-like sound that rises and invades the serenity, becoming an unwelcome guest to the stillness of the room. The shrill ring bounces around the space, an unsettling echo that leaves a trace behind. Its unnerving shrillness reverberates off the four walls, turning the once peaceful room into a chamber of chaos. The echo of the ring spreads like a ripple, disrupting the placid pond, rending the hushed silence and shattering the serenity of the place. A silence cold as ice follows the initial ring. It's a momentary respite, a fleeting calm before another wave crashes. And then it rings again, a sound louder, insistent, more intrusive than before. It's like a countdown, a call to action that brooks no refusal. The ring of the phone is no longer just a sound. It has become an alarm, a clarion call pulling you out of your comfort zone. It's a persistent, eerie sound that gnaws at your peace, demanding your attention, insisting on response. The ring continues, growing louder, more persistent. It becomes a metaphor for urgency, symbolizing something momentous on the horizon. It's a warning, a sign of impending change that cannot be ignored. There's no escape from this intrusion, this insistence that cuts through the silence like an electric current. It's not just a phone ringing, it's a call from destiny, reaching out through the phone lines, disrupting the status quo. The room that was once your sanctuary now feels different, filled with the uncomfortable anticipation. It seems to hold its breath as the ring continues. The sound resonates, filling the room with an audacious announcement of a change that is about to come. The ring now is not just a sound, but an embodiment of an intense foreshadowing. It represents a call to the unknown, a signal for something that is about to change the course of things. You extend a hand, hesitant. It's a call you know will change everything. A strange sense of foreboding takes hold as you reach out to answer the ringing device. It isn't just an ordinary phone call, it's a harbinger of a seismic shift, a sign of an impending storm. On picking up the receiver, there's a moment's silence, a brief lull before the storm. Then a voice cuts through the quiet, a distortion that sends chills down your spine. It's an unfamiliar voice, distant yet invasive. The words, deliberately distorted, wrapped in a maze of confusion and mystery. The voice speaks an abrasive, grating sound that seems to originate from a far-off place. It's a voice from the shadows, detached from a face or identity. It speaks of a crime, the words dripping ominous sense of dread. A crime yet to come, a crime that lurks at the fringes of your reality, waiting to pounce and shatter the veneer of normalcy. This crime is not an ordinary one, it's an event that will shake the city to its core. An act so profound that it will cause the foundations of the city to tremble, the people to question their beliefs, and the leaders to falter in their confidence. A sense of inevitability hangs in the air, palpable and heavy. This is not a question of if, but when. The city stands on the edge, unaware of the storm that's about to hit. A crime that will uproot it from its foundations, instigate chaos, and leave it forever changed. The words hang in the air, a foreboding prophecy that foretells the inevitable. The phone call ends as abruptly as it had begun, leaving behind an echoing silence louder than before. The voice, now silent, has left behind a seed of anticipation, a seed that will soon grow into a tree of turmoil. Suddenly a phone rings, slicing through the silence like a knife. It's a call that will change everything. On the other end of the line is a voice, distorted and unrecognizable. They speak of a crime yet to come, a crime that will shake the city to its core. John's mind races, his heart pounding in his chest like a war drum. He could feel the intensity of the pulse, a loud, powerful rhythm echoing within his chest, a rhythm that filled the cavernous space of his rib cage. It was a pulsating beat that reverberated with a sense of urgency that he simply couldn't ignore. His heart wasn't just a biological organ at this point, it was an imperative, a calling that was sounding off an alarm in his body, a plea for action that he couldn't ignore even if he wanted to. The feeling of this internal war drum was intense. It was a fire that had been lit within him. It was a burning sensation that was spreading through his veins, igniting his nerves, lighting up his senses. There was a desperate plea for action that reverberated right down to his bones. It's as if his body knew before his mind did that he is about to step into the unknown, that he is about to risk it all. This wasn't just a regular heartbeat. Every beat of his heart was like a drumstick against a taut hide, resonating with fear, anticipation, and resolve. The steady thud, thud, thud echoed throughout his body, a constant reminder of the danger that lies ahead. He knew he couldn't afford to ignore it, couldn't afford to dismiss it as just another adrenaline rush, another momentary spike of fear or excitement, because he knew, deep down in his gut, that this was different. This was more than just a physical reaction, this instinct awakening within him. Taking a deep breath in, he felt the cool air fill his lungs, a refreshing wash over his nerves. The crispness of the air was a stark contrast to the intense burning sensation in his chest. He could taste the metallic tang of uncertainty on his tongue, a bittersweet reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. As he stood there, time seemed to slow down around him as he gathers his thoughts. Each passing second felt heavy with the weight of impending doom. He stood on the precipice of something big, something life-altering. The city loomed ahead of him, a sprawling labyrinth of shadows and secrets. To an outsider, to a casual observer, it was just another metropolis, another cluster of buildings and people. But to John, it was a complex puzzle waiting to be solved, a maze of mysteries and hidden truths. He saw it for what it was, a game, a deadly game where the city itself was the playing field. With every street, every alley, he saw potential clues, potential dangers. This realization, this understanding of the city and the game it embodied, sent a shiver down his spine, a cold chill that solidified his resolve. His mind started working at a frantic pace, racing through possibilities, scenarios, strategies. He knew he needed to be prepared. He needed to ready for anything and everything. This wasn't just a case of catching a criminal, it was a battle of wits, a test of survival. The city was teeming with potential allies and enemies, each corner hiding a clue or danger. Mistakes were not an option. He couldn't afford to let his guard down. Every decision he made could be the difference between life and death, success and failure. He was walking a tightrope, balancing on the thin line between truth and deception. And there were no safety nets in this game, no second chances. This was a high-stakes game, and he was playing for keeps. As he stood there, the cityscape stretched out before him, its skyline etched against the fading light of the evening. It was a stark reminder of the enormity of his task, the gravity of his mission. But it was also a symbol of hope, a beacon of determination. He knew he wasn't alone in his quest. The city, with all its chaos and complexity, was with him. It was his ally, his enemy, his battleground. Every building, every street, every person, they were all pieces of the puzzle. And John, with his racing mind and pounding heart, was ready to play. As a detective, he knew the city like the back of his hand. He knew every alley, every hideout. He knew the city's heartbeat, its rhythm, its secrets. And he was ready to use all this knowledge, all this familiarity to his advantage. He was ready to navigate the city's veins, trace its arteries, dissect its heart. He was ready to uncover the truth. Yet he also knew that this task was much more than just about finding the truth. This wasn't about solving a case or catching a criminal. This was about survival. It was about unmasking the face of danger, about overcoming the odds. It was about standing tall amidst adversity, about proving his worth. It was about surviving the game, about outsmarting the opponent, about winning. And with every thought, every resolution, every determination, John's heart pounded even harder in his chest. It was no longer a war drum, it was a victory anthem, a battle cry. It was the sound of his will, his courage, his spirit. It was the sound of survival. The game was on, the city was waiting, and John was ready to play. This isn't just about finding the truth, it's about survival. As the days turn into nights and the mystery unravels, John realizes he's thrust headlong into an incredibly intricate narrative, one that's composed more of shadows and mysteries than of tangible truths. He finds himself standing on the brink, the precipice of a realm he had never dared to venture into before. This world is teeming with enigmas and twisted dark corridors that seem to stretch into infinity. A world where the simple laws of day and night, light and darkness no longer apply. The stark contrast between the tranquility of the day and the uncertainties of the night becomes more and more pronounced. It's as if with every sunset he's descending into an abyss of unknowns. His once ordinary world turns more surreal with each passing day, a journey that is almost too dreadful to contemplate, yet one he can't escape. John finds his quiet, uncomplicated existence slowly merging with the relentless tide of treachery and danger that seems to be lurking at every corner. His once simple life, filled with the comforts of predictability, now resembles a twisting, winding maze. Each corner he turns, each path he takes, seems more confusing and disorienting than the last. He's been unwittingly drawn into a field of shadows, each one cast by a web of deception that grows increasingly tangled with each passing moment. The line between truth and deceit, between reality and illusion, starts to blur as he steps deeper and deeper into this dark, bewildering labyrinth. Every day that passes sees his reality warping, contorting, morphing into something he hardly recognizes. Each clue he uncovers, each piece of evidence he stumbles upon of ironing out the creases in this mystery only adds another layer of complexity, another intricate detail to the grand puzzle he has unknowingly become a part of. He realizes he's not just a spectator in this high-stakes game anymore, he's a player. Every move he makes, every decision he takes inadvertently adds to the stakes, raising the ante, making the outcome even more crucial. Every clue he comes across seems like a cryptic riddle, each one more dubious and confounding than the last. He's been yanked into a realm where every hint, every piece of information seems to serve a dual purpose, to aid him and to mislead him. As each clue is unearthed, it adds to the grand tapestry of the enigma he is trying to solve. The pieces fit, but not in a way that reveals the complete picture, only adding to the confusion, the chaos, making the puzzle more intricate, more daunting, more insurmountable. Every lead he follows feels like a journey, a trek through the dark recesses of uncertainty. It's not just a physical expedition, but an emotional one too, a test of his courage and his resolve. Each lead seems like a lifeline, a beacon of hope in the dense fog of deceit. Yet every step he takes, every corner he turns, instead of leading him out, only pushes him deeper into the labyrinth. He finds himself going down a rabbit hole, a descent into a world of intrigue and danger that shows no sign of bottoming out. The more he tries to extricate himself, the deeper he seems to go. He's caught in a whirlpool of trickery, the currents of deception pulling him in. And each lead he pursues, instead of bringing him closer to the truth, only pulls him further into the vortex. Every lead he follows only pushes him deeper into the abyss. With each passing moment, the stakes get higher. The city, once adorned with the gaiety of life, lay languishing now, the concrete towers standing like silent sentinels, mute witnesses to its impending doom. Its residents, once so carefree, now moved with a palpable sense of dread. The air was dense with tension, vibrating with the whispers of those who still dared to hope against hope. John, the city's only beacon in this time of despair, stood gazing at the cityscape. His heart ached for the city he loved, the city now on the edge of an abyss. Each tick of the clock, pushing it closer beneath his rugged exterior, was a man beset with a conflicting confluence of emotions. Determination intermingled with doubt, courage wrestling with fear. The city was a mirror of his soul, bearing the scars of countless battles, standing on the precipice of chaos. It was a reflection of his inner turmoil, a metaphor for his internal struggle. This was not just about saving the city, this was about saving himself. For John understood that this was a battle he had to win, not just for the city, but for himself. There was an undeniable urgency in the air, an invisible force pushing him towards the edge. He knew that he was the city's last hope against the spiraling anarchy. But to embark on this journey, he would have to delve into his past, confront the shadows that had long been his silent companions, the demons he had kept locked away in the deepest recesses of his mind. Fear, that insidious enemy, threatened to consume him. It was a constant presence, a chilling reminder of the dangers that lay ahead. But he knew that fear was a trap, a sinister snare that sought to keep him rooted to the spot, paralyzed and powerless. He would not let fear dictate his course. Instead, he chose to face it, to look it in the eye and to challenge its hold over him. For he understood that the only way to conquer, confront it. John was no stranger to darkness, to the immense void that threatened to swallow him whole. He had ventured into its depths before, had faced its horrors, and lived to tell the tale. But this was different. This was not just a plunge into the darkness. This was a descent into the very core of his being. This was about challenging his limits, about transcending the boundaries that had defined him thus far. With a heavy heart, he turned away from the window, his gaze lingering on the city he was about to save, or doom. The decision weighed heavily on his shoulders, a burden he was destined to carry. But he knew that he had no choice. It was a sacrifice he was willing to make, a price he was ready to pay. Each step that led him away from the familiar comfort of his sanctuary and towards the unknown was a struggle. But he knew he had to persist, had to keep moving, for the city relied on him, for the fate of countless souls teetered on the edge of his decision. The thought of failure was unbearable, the fear of letting down those who depended on him overwhelming. But he pushed those thoughts aside, choosing instead to focus on the task at hand. And so John set forth on his daunting journey, armed with nothing more than his courage and determination. He knew it was going to be a perilous path, a path fraught with danger and uncertainty. He knew he would have to confront his demons, face his fears, and delve deeper into the darkness than he ever has before. As the final pieces of the puzzle fall into place, a shocking revelation unfolds. What started out as a simple game of wit and strategy has transformed into something more, something that transcends reality. It's a game that demands your attention, your focus, and your determination. A single piece, insignificant on its own, becomes part of a grander vision when joined with others. In isolation, it tells no story, gives no directions, but together they form an image, a narrative that brings clarity to the most perplexing queries. The revelation, however, is not an immediate comprehension. It is the culmination of countless hours spent in contemplation. It is the reward for the perseverance through the maddening complexity of the puzzle. As each piece finds its home, a clearer picture starts to emerge. It is an image, a truth that has been hidden, waiting patiently to be discovered. This truth is not just a mere fact, but a profound realization that challenges our understanding of reality. It is a revelation that compels us to question the known and explore the unknown. The magnitude of this truth, however, is not to be underestimated. It is profound, altering the very fabric of our existence and changing our perception of the world around us. As this truth comes to light, everything changes. It is as if the entire city, once shrouded in the mystery of uncertainty, is now illuminated. The darkness that once reigned, its ominous shadow on every street, every alley, every building, is now replaced by a light so bright it drowns out the remnants of fear and doubt. The city, previously obscured by the night, is now visible in the stark light of day. The buildings, once foreboding structures that loomed in the darkness, now stand tall and majestic in the light. The streets, once labyrinthine paths of deception, now lay bare, their secrets exposed in the light of truth. The revelation doesn't just illuminate the physical world, but it sheds light on the inner world as well. The silence that once prevailed, a silence so heavy it threatened to suffocate the city's spirit, is finally broken. Whispers of truth echo in the streets, shattering the silence and giving voice to the voiceless. The chaos that the city has subsided, the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt, all the elements that fed the chaos have been dispelled by the truth. The city, once a battleground of confusion, is now a beacon of clarity. The change that sweeps over the city is not a fleeting moment. It is a lasting shift, a transformation that marks the beginning of a new era. For the first time in what feels like an eternity, there is peace. A peace born out of understanding, out of enlightenment. A peace that is not merely the absence of conflict, but the presence of harmony. The city, now bathed in the light of truth, stands as a testament to the power of revelation, a testament to the resilience of its inhabitants who braved the darkness, solved the puzzle, and embraced the truth. And yet this is not the end, but the beginning of a journey towards understanding, towards enlightenment, towards a deeper connection with the world around us. It is a journey that will be guided by the light of truth, a light that will lead the way towards a brighter future. And for the first time in a long time, there is peace. This is the story of John, a man who dared to venture into the heart of darkness. This relatively humble account, however, transcends the ordinary. It explores the depths of the human condition, our capacity to endure, and the power of hope. The protagonist of our tale, John, is an everyday individual, not particularly distinguished by notable accolades or exceptional talents. What makes John special, however, is his relentless perseverance, his unshakable courage, and an unwavering faith in himself. John had always been fascinated by the idea of adventure, of crossing unexplored territories, of tantalizing the edges of the undiscovered. He was intrigued by the mysteries lurking beyond the beaten path, the thrill of venturing into unknown realms and discovering what lay hidden. But the adventure we recount today was different. It was not merely an exploration of a wild, untamed landscape. Instead, it was a journey into the heart of darkness itself, a plunge into abyssal depths of despair and fear. John isn't your stereotypical hero. He lacks superhuman abilities or mystical powers. He isn't extraordinary in the traditional sense, but what sets him apart is his extraordinary spirit. His strength isn't housed within his physical form, but within the chambers of his heart. His courage isn't quantified by victories in battle, but by the personal demons he has faced and vanquished. He's a man who has gazed into the icy visage of fear itself and yet never recoiled. He is engaged in battles not armed with conventional weapons, but with an unyielding will and ironclad determination. Thus began John's unprecedented adventure, a journey that would test his fortitude, confront his deepest beliefs, and push the boundaries of his endurance. He marched bravely into the heart of darkness, a realm devoid of light and hope, a place where everything seemed lost. It was a realm where the unthinkable manifested, where nightmares assumed tangible forms. But John persisted, driven not by the promise of glory or the allure of fame, but by an indomitable spirit, by a resolve that refused to kneel before adversity. John wrestled with the elements, survived harsh, unforgiving weather, and tackled countless obstacles. He faced physical trials that pushed his body to its limits and stared down horrors that strained his mental fortitude. Yet even in his darkest moments, he held on to hope. Even when despair seemed his constant companion, he held steadfast in his belief in himself and in the resilience of his spirit. He rallied, he battled, and against all odds he survived. John's quest is a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It's a story that demonstrates that no challenge is insurmountable, no obstacle too daunting, and that it is in our nature to overcome, to endure, and to flourish. It serves as a poignant reminder that no mystery is too complicated to solve. Every truth, no matter how elusive, can be brought to light. This is not simply a survival story, but a tale of hope. Hope that burns bright even in the bleakest of nights. It's a spark that radiates vibrantly, resonating in every facet of John's tale. It acts as a beacon of light in a world often veiled in darkness, a beacon that stands strong against despair. John's narrative is evidence that the resilience of the human spirit remains steadfast in the face of adversity. His story serves as a beacon of inspiration to all those who feel lost, to those grappling with seemingly insurmountable challenges. It's a testament to the indomitable human, to the potency of hope, and the resilience of conviction. So remember, when the night falls heavy around you, when the weight of the world seems unbearable, when the deafening silence threatens to consume your resolve, there's always a beacon of hope. A beacon that might be a nameless face in the crowd, a beacon that might just be a man named John,